The Surface Callback object implements the SurfaceHolder.callback interface so that we can respond to various surface events, and specifically when the surface gets destroyed, when the surface gets created, or when the surface is changed. When the surface is destroyed, we're going to tell the camera to stop previewing. We're going to set our own variable is previewing to false, and we're going to release the camera's resources so that they can be used by some other app on the device. When the surface is first created, we're going to open the camera because we want to be able to start previewing the image that the user can take. We're going to also grab the effects and sizes from the camera. So by going to camera.getParameters, that'll give you the camera.parameters object that contains information about the camera's capabilities, and then calling getSupportedColorEffects. If you hover over this, you'll see that it returns a list of strings, which is why we declared the variable effects as a list of strings. And similarly, the sizes object, which you may recall is a list of camera.size objects, that is going to be initialized by calling camera.getParameters once again to get the camera.parameters object, and then getSupportedPreviewSizes will return all of the possible dimensions and sizes for the camera preview that can be used with this device's specific camera. Now, when the surface is changed, which happens at least when the surface is being created, so this is going to get called at least once for the surface view, we use that to configure the surface view initially. If the camera was already previewing, we stop the preview. Perhaps this is getting called because the user rotated their device and therefore is switching between portrait and landscape modes or vice versa. We go ahead and create a camera.parameters variable called P by getting the existing parameters object, and then we set the preview size for the camera and set the color effect for the camera as well, and we do that by using the element 0 from our sizes collection. We get the width and the height from that to determine the size, and then the effect is whatever effect has been chosen by the user. And we do set a default effect. In fact, if we go all the way back up here, you can see here at line 38 that the default effect is none, which just says use the pure camera image that's being received by the device. So going back down here to our surface changed method, after configuring the parameters, we set the parameters on the camera, and we tell the camera to set its preview display to the surface holder object called holder. That's where it's going to display its preview. If that fails, we'll get an IO exception. And then finally we start the preview and set is previewing to true, and in reality we probably should move those statements up here into the try block, because if the setting of the preview display does not work, then there's no point in actually starting the preview.